Hello and welcome to Wealthy Trades Daily. This is Tyson Clayton, and I want to start out by going over yesterday's price action. Yesterday we had a pretty big down day, okay? And if you remember, the dashboard was saying, well, we should take a short bias. We had a lot of stocks in a downtrend. In fact, I believe the score on the S&P 500 was 71 or 72% to the downside. Now, the trend quality was below 50%, so we recommended a pairs trade. But there were some phenomenal opportunities, and if you remember, we pared it down to three shorting opportunities. One was in the XLE, the other one was in APA, and then DO. All three of these offered good shorting opportunities. Okay, in fact, the XLE opened at 75.62 and closed at 75.16 for 46-cent profit. Okay, so that is good. That's about 0.6%. The APA, much the same. APA was another good shorting opportunity, and APA opened at 60.52 and closed at 60.15. Okay, so 37 cents. So again, about 0.6% or about a half a percent. DO, now this was the best one, and if you remember, we said that DO was one of the favorites to short as far as the stocks go. DO was down huge yesterday. All right, so DO opened at 27.76 and closed at 26.82. All right, so this stock, if you would have went short this stock, that was called out by the Wealthy Trades dashboard as the best stock to short. It was down 3.38%. That would have been a phenomenal day. You would have hedged that with the XLF. The XLF obviously got beat up yesterday too, but overall, it should have been a potential for a decent day depending on what you shorted and how much you used in the XLF to hedge. So that is that's what happened yesterday. With a big down day. Let's take a look at the dashboard for today. Okay, so we do have the futures up slightly, as I said, and they're not up huge, but we have a little bit of a different thing going on today because of yesterday's such a huge move down. We're going to take a very aggressive short bias, and the reason why, or straight short bias. The reason why we're going to take a straight short bias is because we have a downtrend, obviously indicated by the market trend quality. Market moving down, 72.5% of those in a downtrend. The trend quality is above 50%. It's 70.1%. So therefore, we can feel free to short with confidence in the best sectors. The best sector to short in today is the XLI. It's got a quality score of 81.6%. All right, so I'm going to hit the plus sign on that, and then I'm going to go down and hit the plus sign on all 8 of the best stocks to short within the XLI, which is the industrial sector. Okay, so I'm going to hit the plus sign next to all those. And then we'll go into our portfolio and drill into this a little further. Before I do that, I'm going to eliminate the ones from yesterday, which is the XLE, XLF, APA, and DO. Okay, so here's the stocks we're going to focus on today. Let's start out with the XLI. What I want to do first is I want to see if we can get find those stocks or ETFs that have a profit on both sides. Now, I'm going to keep the XLI in here. I don't love the fact that it doesn't have a profit on both sides, but I'm going to keep it for now. And I'm going to eliminate just the stocks, right? So SNA, I'm going to eliminate that because it makes money on the counter trend side. When it hits the upside, the expected upside is 144.35 today. It typically bounces off that and closes lower, but on the counter trend side or on the trend side, it typically loses money. Now, we are going to get a gap higher today, a slight gap higher. So taking trades in a stock like this, it might make a lot of sense at the open because we are going to probably trade higher at the open, and that'll give us more profit potential. But for now, I'm going to eliminate that. I'm going to go to PH. PH, I'm going to eliminate that one, the counter trend side. This one, typically, when you go into this one, it loses money on the counter trend side. So when this one gets strong on a Tuesday, then you know what? It typically stays strong. So we're going to eliminate that one. NCS, we're going to eliminate that one. All right, JEC, this one looks good. All right, so we're going to keep that one. JD, we're going to keep that one. FLS, we're going to eliminate. ETN, we're going to keep. DOV, we're going to keep. Okay, so here are the shorting opportunities that I've pared it down to. Got the XLI itself going short. The XLI at the open is a good plan. DOV, which we'll dive into a little more in a second. ETN, GD, and JEC. Okay, so let's look at the XLI and let's figure out the game plan for the XLI. So when it hits the trend side, it has a tendency to continue to go lower. The spread between how often it closes beyond this level and the HPP is fairly tight. It's not hugely tight. Here's what I don't like. I don't like the fact that the counter trend side has a tendency, when it hits that, it has a tendency to go. So the XLI is actually going to gap higher today and could show signs in continuing strength. Now, I do like the fact that we are in such an aggressive downtrend and the trend quality is above 50%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to short at the open, and I'm going to watch this level. I'm not going to put a stop at that counter trend level, that 56.26, but I'm going to watch that level. In fact, I'm going to go to the Wealthy Trades chart, and I'm going to look to see. I do like, if you see, we have some consolidations from yesterday's price action above us. So I'm going to short at the open. I'm going to watch how price action reacts around that 56.26 level. All right. DOV, it doesn't quite have a huge spread here. And this here is a little too tight for my liking. I'm going to actually eliminate this one because remember, we want a real wide spread in the counter trend and a real tight spread in the trend, and we don't quite get that. In fact, over in the XLI, we don't quite get that either. So I'm going to eliminate that one. ETN. Okay, here we go. This one looks pretty good. This one looks. We've got a narrow spread here, and we've got it's not a hugely wide spread here, but I guess it's okay. It's not quite 50. It's not quite less than 50%. I don't love that, but it is very profitable on both sides. I like that. Just try to see if there's one or two that I can find that I really like. Here we go. This one's really good. We've got an HPP and a levels on levels spread that's very narrow, and then we've got a fairly wide spread here. We got profitable on both sides. GD looks phenomenal. Let's look at JEC. JEC looks absolutely phenomenal too. So if I were paring this down and looking for opportunities, I'm going to eliminate ETN. Shorting at the open in the XLI in the material sector, or in the XLI is the way to go. All right, the industrial sector is the way to go. Two best stocks to short in is JD. In JD, you can feel free short right at the open. When it hits the counter trend side, you can short there too, because more often than not, when it hits that level, it closes below it and it's profitable. If it hits the trend side, continue. So basically, short and hold this all day long. JD and JEC. Those are the two best plays. JD and JEC are the two best plays today, but you can also feel free to go short in the XLI. As I said, we don't have a ton of news coming out today, so watch your trades. Take a bias to the short side. If you don't feel all that comfortable taking a bias to the short side, that's okay. You can always hedge it with a pairs trade. And the best sector to pairs trade in would be, if you're going to go short anything in the XLI, you can go long in the XLU. That's fine also, but you should feel okay taking short positions in the best sector within the best stocks because the trend quality is below 50%. Thank you for your time. I'll talk to you tomorrow, and make it a profitable day.